Bat music.
He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time with Jon and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Hello and welcome once again to Bat Minute Returns, the show that takes a novel approach to movie analysis, namely going insane as we delve into Tim Burton's Batman Returns 1 minute at a time. I am one of your hosts, Crazy John Parker.
And I am the other host, I think, relatively normal Niall McGowan. Although, if I were crazy, I wouldn't be able to tell you, so... Because I would perceive myself as sane.
You're the craziest of us all. Little do the listeners know. You're Wild Niall. That's what you're known as.
No one's ever given me that nickname, but now I'm like, what? How have I lived 31 years without anyone calling me that before?
Well, once again, to round out the week, we are joined by our very esteemed special guest.
Hello, it's me, Clarisse Loughrey, back. And you had no choice in it, so deal with it.
We were held at gunpoint.
Yes, I demanded to be on this podcast. And my love for Catwoman.
Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
It's an honor to have you.
Thank you.
And this is minute 27. The minute starts with top-level hacking. Well, mention of it. And it ends with an attempt to weasel out of danger, like a weasel.
That's like what separates us from the animals. Except the weasel.
We're known for our random Simpsons quotes. And I've just realized, I apologize. I feel like I'm in the show Trailer Park Boys. I made myself a drink, put ice in it, and it's clinking away like I'm Julian from... Sorry about that. I will refrain from drinking this. I'll let the ice melt. But yes, we are back here with Max as he questions Selina about her opening of the protected files. And I like the way he's poorly pretending not to be annoyed. And he's just inquiring about it.
I will say, this line here, this is the basis of all my Chris Walken impressions. It started with this line. The two-tone, and how did you open the protected files? May I ask? Like, it's just, he goes from one to the other, the blink of an eye. And it's so instantly creepy. He's like, what are you doing? But he talks like that all the time.
He's like the acting version of the Pixies, then. You know, the way they go quiet to loud.
I wonder though, who came first? Was Chris Walken putting that in the CV? He's like, I'm the acting version of the Pixies, or were the Pixies like, where the? I was going to try to do a Frank Black impression there. That was not going to go anywhere good. So, but they're like, oh, we're the musical version of Chris Walken.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good name for a band. Just musical version of Chris Walken. Just call it that.
The good thing is, Walken's he's a song and dance man as well. He can sing. He can do the whole. He's a triple threat. So if anyone's going to be the musical version of Chris Walken, it's going to be Chris Walken.
Yeah, he's old Hollywood, isn't he? Well, not literally as it means old Hollywood,
but he is pretty old.
He's pretty old. He's old school. You know, back in the day when you'd learn to dance and things like that, that was an important skill to have.
He's old school, Denise.
Sorry, that was a great David Lynch impression.
That was much better than my Frank Black, let me tell you. Sorry. Anyway, we should probably try to concentrate in the minute for once.
No, it's Friday. It's the drinking day. It's fine.
But I will say that this is like a great, throughout the whole minute actually, of a great subtle facial expression acting by both these people, because we said the split second that opens the minute is the full bloom of Selina Kyle's like, oh, he said something nice about me, smile. And then he has this sort of like quasi-inquisitive, quasi-threatening, why? How did you open the protected files? May I ask? And then the way her face kind of falls, she does have a moment of like, oh boy, maybe this isn't going the way I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, but she probably just thinks, oh, I'm going to get fired.
I don't think that's the automatic thing you think when you're getting told off at work.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to... I'm not going to spoil it, but what occurs, which I'm sure you all know anyway, but what occurs is not in any way in her mind, I'm sure.
Oh, but the whole he's going to shove me out a window. Probably not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I fall out with people at work every day, and I've never been thrown out a window.
It would speak though that maybe she did have a genuine bit of naivete, where like she was genuinely telling them, oh, I also accessed your protected files, and then he's giving her the slightly threatening tone, and she's only just realized like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Like that was a foolish thing to tell him.
Yeah, she does seem to look a little worried, and she's not sure how it's going to go from this point on. I think she's like, well, I'm going to have to just explain how I did it.
Maybe he'll be impressed that I know so much about his chihuahua. R.I.P.
Yeah, that legitimately could be what she's thinking. Yeah, like maybe he's going to realize, how much attention I pay, how good an assistant I am, things like that.
But yeah, as she walks over, though, we'll note great, not just facial acting from Walken, but great coat throw. There's a very frustrated, angry flopping the coat over the files there. Of course, then we also know as well, took off the coat. Max Shreck never takes off those gloves. Those gloves are still on. I don't know if we actually did establish that, but I think it is supposed to be an indication, like, doesn't get his hands dirty. This is the perpetual state of Max Shreck as a guy who doesn't touch things physically himself. He always has some layer of something to protect him.
It's a good illustration of that, but I'm going to make something up. I'm going to say, because we said, wouldn't it be cool if his company, because the toxic sludge they're pumping into the rivers and stuff, wouldn't it be cool if his company he owned the chemical plant from the first movie, and he was responsible for that. So I'm going to say that is true, and he burnt his hands in the chemicals the one time he went down to the factory.
Well, we said no. If he took off the gloves, and he had white hands with green fingernails. Yep. It's like, oh my god!
If I was writing it now, I would put something like that in. That's probably why I'm not a writer.
They could really go all out. Then he takes off the gloves, and all of a sudden he's just got these massive tentacles. He's like, "Oh, you think you got me, Penguin?" And they wins in the cage at the end. He just rips open the cage, and he's like, "It turns out Max Shreck was the real supervillain the whole time."
Oh, they're actually green hands, and he's actually Shrek.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I don't know if anyone's brought that up yet, but I think
they haven't.
It's been partially ruined that I can't watch this film, and they keep saying Shrek, and I'm like, get out of my swamp.
To be honest, now you've brought it up, all the time we're doing this show now, from now until the end, in my head, I'm just going to be singing that song, which I won't name.
Somebody once told me that you appreciated that song, John. So.
No.
Thing is, I would love if someone did, like, that should have been, like, I guess maybe now it might be too much of a deep cut, but someone should have done, like, an SNL skit or something of Max Shreck as Shrek, where, like, it's literally, like, the, donkey coming in, into his swamp. And it's just like, and how exactly did you get into my swamp? May I ask? And just... But be like us just laughing away at it, and then everyone else be like, what the hell? They got Chris Walken back in to do this. Why is his hair so weird?
Well, that's the thing. You said, I think it might be a bit of a deep cut. Yes, Niall. Nobody even remembers... Like, if you tell people Batman Returns, they remember the Penguin, they remember Catwoman. They don't remember Shrek. I'm sorry. They remember that Walken's in it. That's about it.
But that's the thing, though, Clarisse. Like, do you have fond memories of Max Shreck in this movie, or what's your opinion of him as a character?
I'm gonna say no. I mean, I always remembered the hair from when I used to watch it as a kid. It's just really good hair, but I feel like
beautiful.
He's a narrative tool just to get you. I mean, it's a really great performance,
and he's a tool.
He needs a tool. I mean, it's Christopher Walken, and he's great, but he's also in a movie with Catwoman and the Penguin, so he kind of got the short straw on that one.
Well, it's interesting that they didn't make him just like a really mild, tame-looking villain. Like, he could have just been like a normal businessman screwing the city over. But Burton decided, you know what? We're going to make him crazy too. He's going to be wild like all the other characters in this, just for no reason.
Oh, I was. It's just Tim Burton. I feel like he can't make people normal. He probably thought that's what a normal businessman looks like to him. He was like, yeah,
him,
let
that
me
is, yeah.
let me plan out just a completely normal looking. Let me sketch him. And all businessmen, they have giant white hair. Yeah, yeah, and they're always wearing gloves. All the businessmen I know, always wearing gloves. There we go, completely normal.
That's the thing, though, because like, consider if you've seen Tim Burton's art style, you know, it's like spindly men with huge eyes. Or spindly, just people with huge eyes. And like, yeah, big hair. And it's kind of like, Chris Walken is just a Tim Burton sketch come to life, really. Which is kind of quite bizarre, though, because when they were talking about casting him, Tim Burton was just like, oh, that man absolutely terrifies me. Which is quite strange. It's like, he's just one of your cartoons, dude. Like, is that why? You're just afraid that, like, oh, my art's come to life to come get me.
But then they didn't put that much makeup on him for Sleepy Hollow. So I think he kind of proved I think he had the last word on that. Literally just gave him some teeth. And then, ta-da.
Certain people, though, in Hollywood, that you can see, like, oh, Tim Burton's going to get to them eventually. I remember when I first saw Kristen Ritter, I was like, may not happen today, it may not happen tomorrow, but she's going to be in a Tim Burton movie because he's going to see her and be like, that's my kind of person. Just like spindly, really deathly pale woman with blackest of black hair and big googly eyes and stuff. Like, yeah, he's coming for you, Kristen. Don't you worry. I mean, she's in ironic enough, Big Eyes. So like he got there eventually, but like it's just one of those things of like there's certain people that Tim Burton very obviously gravitates towards, and Chris, yes. I'm surprised he's not used Walken more, frankly.
No, I'm surprised. You think he'd be in everything?
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't want to be. He could see what was coming.
It could have been. You could have had like Chris Walken. He could have been Johnny Depp. Like it's just been every damn movie. Yep, it's me. I'm back.
I would have liked to have seen Walken in Sweeney Todd. I think because we know he can sing.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Walken would have been great in Sweeney Todd. In any part. Like they could have made him friggin' Helen Bonham Carter's part. That would have been like, yeah, totally great.
I want him as Mrs. Lovett.
Yeah.
Oh, he should have been the barber. I can't remember what the name of the character is, but the Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were going to say, like, you mean Sweeney Todd, the main character?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I realized how stupid that sounds. Like. Yeah, the other guy.
that barber.
You know, the main character of the movie.
Yeah, what's his name again?
In Sweeney Todd, the main character is Sweeney Todd.
I've only seen Sweeney Todd once, and I did enjoy it. But, like, I do remember at the start being like, oh, I don't like this at all. And then as soon as Sacha Baron Cohen showed up, I was like, oh, now I get this. And then it became a good movie. And then
I love it. I think it's great.
My main memory of it is just like how insanely violent it was, because I wasn't expecting that. It's like, holy crap. This thing is just like, yeah, it's just ripping people's throats out. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I just always remember that one little back and forth when he's like shaving Alan Rickman. And it's just like, it's Johnny Depp singing away, and then Alan Rickman out of nowhere just kind of goes like, "Make with haste and you will be commanded, sir, my lord. And whom I say is your intended, sir, my ward." I remember being in the cinema like, what the hell is this?
I love that. It's great. How can you insult it?
I can't insult Alan Rickman now. You couldn't insult him when he's alive. You definitely can't insult him now that he's died as well. So
Alan was perfection. Rest in peace.
But anyway.
Is this going to segue into the Chihuahua, who is also rested in peace?
Oh,
unless he's just very still. You don't know how well trained this Chihuahua is. But...
Also kind of looks like a deer. It doesn't look like a Chihuahua. It looks like a stuffed... They overstuffed it, so it looks like just a tiny deer.
He wanted a very strong-looking dog, so they had to pad it out of it.
The muscled Chihuahua.
Yeah, on the protein.
But yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, the handy, frequent movie cliche of like, oh, the password for the computer is just the thing that's immediately in front of my face. like in Watchmen, the way to hack friggin', Adrian Veidt, the smartest man in the world. The way they hack his computer is like, oh, it's the title of the book that's on his desk. And it's like, oh my god, Jesus.
Like, you would be surprised how many people do put that stuff just in their vicinity as their password. It's a huge percentage. But as you say, he's supposed to be super smart in that. It doesn't really make sense.
Although,
Like, I know not to do that. I'm
Mate,
stupid.
it might be one of those passwords. You know the passwords you have to just keep changing it all the time.
Oh, so you just changed the number at the end?
Yeah, because I have that for an account and I panic, and sometimes my passwords are just really stupid, just rude words.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna.
Well, I also thought, though, that, okay, it is in front of his desk, or behind his desk, whichever way you look at it. But I did think it was also kind of going for a Citizen Kane kind of thing, you know, like it's something from the past, something that means a lot to this hard man.
Oh yeah,
This little dog. It's his rosebud.
That's the thing, like, because we do get this is our introduction to his Chihuahua Heraldo, and so many questions about like Max Shreck owning this dog again, like. How old is this dog? Is this a thing from his childhood, or is this like I've recently had a Chihuahua and it died and I had it stuffed?
Well, they don't live that long, so yeah. I mean, I don't know. I got the vibe it wasn't from his childhood, but
see, I instantly in my head went though, because you see there's medals next to the dog. There's weirdly enough, there's another dog in front of it as well. It's like a little terrier thing that doesn't even get the time of day. That dog. But the fact that he's got little ribbons is like, oh, this Geraldo was like Best in Show at some point. And like I've never properly watched Crufts, but I have seen Best in Show, the movie. And I just got this instant like vision of Max Shreck with a little chihuahua on a leash having to do that little dainty walk around the judges panel and stuff, and him dressed up in his suit with the hair like that and stuff. I was like, that's a movie I want to see. Is Max Shreck competing for Best in Show with Heraldo the Chihuahua.
But Max would win, not the dog.
I was like, one of these animals is exceptionally well groomed, and we'll leave it up to you to tell who it is.
And look at him there, walking around on his hind legs like Rory Calhoun.
Look at him there, walking around with his
walking.
Yeah.
Although I do watch Crufts pretty much every year, and the Chihuahua has never won because they are not elegant creatures, and no one's going to be like, that Chihuahua, the most beautiful dog I've ever seen, with its bug eyes.
So would you say, though, that Geraldo, in that case, Geraldo is an exceptional Chihuahua, or that Max Shreck bought those ribbons, that he bribed the judges or Geraldo would win?
Maybe the ribbons are just best Chihuahua of the Chihuahua.
That's their own category.
The two Chihuahuas that we looked at, this Chihuahua was better, so you get the best Chihuahua.
Right. I don't want to insult Chihuahua lovers, but I don't get them. I love all animals. I'm an animal rights person, vegetarian. Love them in a way, but they're not that cute. Chihuahuas. I don't really understand. And why do celebrities seem to gravitate to Chihuahuas?
I think because they're extra portable, so they can put them in little handbags and stuff. But
I'm a big Chihuahua fan, and I don't have a dog at the moment. I'm considering getting a dog, and I'm considering Chihuahua because I have an affinity for hideous dogs, dogs that kind of look like, oh, you shouldn't be alive, but you're alive, so let's celebrate this miracle. And I just love, yeah.
That's cute. Yeah, okay.
They're just kind of like, why do you exist? You're so small. what
See, I feel like that about bulldogs.
Yeah.
Like, I hate the fact man has created the bulldog, but when I see one, I'm like, oh, the poor thing. I just want to help it.
Yeah, you've lived.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I want to just stroke it.
That's use that as a segue, because I did do a little bit of looking into Chihuahua facts to see if there was anything interesting in the history of Chihuahuas. And for me, it was all, because I'm not a big dog person, so it was all eye-opening to me, because I didn't realize that they are named for the Mexican state of Chihuahua, because they're Mexican dogs. And that, to me, when I think of Chihuahua, I instantly think of Ren and Stimpy, because Ren was a Chihuahua. And then I kind of realized, like, oh, so is that a Mexican accent he's been doing the whole time?
You didn't know he was Mexican?
No, I just thought it was like a weird voice he was doing. I didn't realize that was supposed to be Mexican. So now it is like, oh, it's all falling into place now. But like, yeah, I used to love that. I could memorize episodes of Ren and Stimpy when I was a kid. But like, no, they never caught on that he was supposed to be Mexican.
Oh my god.
But I did also find that because they do date way, 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 way back. So apparently The Aztecs believed that the early ancestors of the Chihuahua had the power to take a disease from a human and transfer it to themselves as a way of protecting their owner. And that myth is still alive and well today. So there you go. That could have been the emotional ending of the Shreck versus Chihuahua. Shreck and Chihuahua movie was where, like, oh, Shreck, he's got like a terminal disease, and then Geraldo takes it from him. And then that's why he keeps him there. He's like, this dog did a lot for me. And that's the reason I'm still here, is because of Heraldo. And,
I'm going to hypothesize then that Shreck is actually 200 years old, and he keeps himself alive through this process continually, just continuous fashion. Different Chihuahuas just take it from him. And this is his first Chihuahua from 200 years ago, 300 years ago. And the condition means he will petrify, you see. So it's not actually stuffed, it's petrified.
So I can say add one Chihuahua fact, which might be illuminating to his character, that Chihuahuas are intensely loyal to their owners and despise everybody else. So they're very aggressive towards everyone that is not the owner. So I can see why he would get a Chihuahua, because he would just hold it in his arm and it would just yap at everybody that went near.
Yeah.
So
That suits him. I suppose it's a bit like in Bond. What's his bloody name? Dr. No.
Dr. No.
Oh.
Isn't he just called Dr. No?
It's not. Who is it with the cat?
Oh,
Blofeld.
Blofeld.
Blofeld, I'm thinking of. It's Blofeld. Yeah, that's it. Scratch the other bit. Blofeld. The way he's got a cat. I mean, because that's how cats tend to be. Like, they love their owners. When visitors come, they don't like them. They go and hide or whatever. But Tim Burton doesn't dislike cats, but he's not that into cats. He grew up with dogs. So he always wants to get a dog in there. So he's probably thought, well, what dog suits this character? This works.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I would also add to this whole thing. Like, we were talking last minute about the symbol of Shreck's department store, of Shreck's whole thing, is a big creepy cat face. Why isn't it a dog? Because clearly he loves... Why isn't it a big Chihuahua? Why has he got a stuffed Chihuahua?
maybe it is a Chihuahua.
Oh, maybe it is. Maybe that's all... It's been like... All these years, Tim Burton's been like, okay, we didn't get this across clearly enough that was supposed to be this Chihuahua. And then it's ironic that Catwoman is kind of like doing things to a guy who has a dog symbol as his big thing. Or maybe you might have cracked it, Clarisse. Maybe it's after 30-odd years. It's like, finally, Tim Burton's been like, yes, these guys have been cracking these codes.
Finally.
And then someone finally got to the, yes, that was supposed to be
Finally got it.
the Chihuahua.
The biggest mystery of all has finally been broken.
Because have you seen videos of Chihuahuas? Have you typed in angry Chihuahua into YouTube ever? I'm going to assume that's no.
I haven't, but now I want to desperately.
Oh, do it. Because a Chihuahua having some sort of like aggressive moment, I know it's maybe mean to laugh at it, but it's the most hysterical thing I've ever seen, because it's this tiny thing and it's just all teeth. So I can see why it would be the symbol, because the symbol is all teeth. So maybe it was a representation of an angry Chihuahua, just like screaming, because they just scream when they're angry. Just this screaming ball.
I think throughout the rest of the show we should make that official canon, is like that symbol is a Chihuahua, and it's just like that's the only thing that makes sense, because like, well, why else would he have been like, I was really into this dog, but nah, I'm into cats now, it's
Niall, we're gonna get 100 tweets if we stick to this.
bring it on.
Bring it, suckers.
But we'll also note as well, though, the tale of Geraldo the Chihuahua has another intriguing twist, in that in the script, in the working draft of the script, the line is actually, well, I figured that your password was Finster, your Pomeranian. So they, at some point, they went, nah, Pomeranian not as funny, or Finster not as funny. They just decided, like, no, it's a Chihuahua now called Heraldo. Or did they do, like, multiple takes with, like, they had a bunch of different stuffed dogs, and they put it up on top of the cabinet, and they're like, which one?
St. Bernard.
Yeah, there's like, which one lands better? It's like, eventually, like, yeah, there's a Heraldo one. I think everyone... Maybe maybe it was like Crufts. They had like a thing where they brought out all these stuffed dogs and dragged them around in front of Tim Burton and Dan Waters, and they just like politely clapping until eventually like, oh no, that's the one, that's the one.
They killed and stuffed the dogs for Burton.
Yeah. That's why at the end of this movie, we'll have to keep an eye out to see if the NSPCA actually did approve Batman Returns in any way. So we had all those penguins swimming around that toxic waste earlier. So I was like, we might as well, if we're going to do it, we might as well go the whole damn way.
Every penguin was blown up at the end of shoot.
You could have just given them.
No, they weren't.
You could have just given them to somebody, Tim. No, we blew them all up. That was the rap party was blowing up the penguins.
I decided to look up famously owned chihuahuas.
Okay.
And it led me down a horribly dark hole. It turns out every celebrity in history seems to have owned a chihuahua. So I was trying to make a list of them. And by the time I got to like 20 names, I was like, I'm going to stop. I'm just going to pick 3 that I liked. So we have chihuahuas famously owned, apparently, by Britney Spears.
Oh.
She's a chihuahua lover. And you can see that. You can see her with a chihuahua, I think. That suits her. Madonna, who I thought she'd go for a bigger dog.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't know, like a whippet. I could see her with a whippet.
I see Madonna has so many stages of her career, though. I can imagine she'd have like a different dog for every decade. That'd be nice.
Trade it in. And then my previously teased boring fact is Christina Ricci.
Oh my God.
Is a famous chihuahua owner. My first... I would say my joint first celebrity crush. I think I've brought this up on the show before. It was age appropriate when she was Wednesday.
Yeah. You did mention that
I was
Wednesday,
the right
yeah.
age for the. Yeah. And it was her and it was Janine from Ghostbusters, which was not age appropriate, I suppose, but the other way.
Yeah. I mean, that's okay though, because that's at least like, oh, you're a young man who likes an older woman rather than a grown man who likes a very young woman. That's perfect.
Yes, it's the yeah.
Although again, too, like Christina Ricci, very much a Tim Burton looking kind of actress. Like, and again, he did. You imagine when he was watching the Addams Family movie, he's just like looking at her, but like, she's gonna be in a movie of mine. Like that's maybe not that. It's just like Winona Ryder sitting next to him, and he's just like, "Get away, you!" Like I've got somebody new.
Oh, he does.
God.
He does like to fixate.
Does he make them fight? Be like, Winona, Christina, I have only one role of wide-eyed, innocent young girl.
To the cage!
This matches up, but
I had to do that. Sorry.
Again, though, Christina Ricci not used all that much, but maybe he does it like beyond Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. He has a kind of thing of like, no, I like this. I suck them dry and then I leave them. It's like I use Winona Ryder like twice. Now forget her. That Christina Ricci once, forget her. Now I've moved on. Amy Adams, I'll use her once to get rid of her. She's got red hair. That's not quite my thing, but whatever.
Well, now he's got a wonderful actress playing Alice.
Yeah, Mia Wasikowska.
Yeah, but I haven't seen her even suggest she's going to be in anything else that he's doing.
She's moved on.
That was such a weird thing when that movie came out, is that she is terrible in it. Like she's like a husk.
Well, it's not her that's terrible, I don't think.
I think she was aware of how bad it was, and she was just like, I'm stuck with this. This is awful. But the thing is, you see Mia Wasikowska and anything else, she's usually uniformly excellent. So it's like, yeah. And then weirdly enough, I've not watched the second Alice in Wonderland, but I've seen clips, and she has a bit more life about her, as if she kind of like, I'm getting paid. Maybe I'll just, they give me
maybe it was the last one she was contracted to.
Yeah, maybe she's like, because she does have a kind of cooler outfit in it as well. So maybe she's like, at least I get to look cool. So, but well, I know not the mind of Mia Wasikowska. So,
yeah, and I hate being really negative. So, well, I don't in my personal life. I love it. I just mean on the show.
Anywho, have we drained the Chihuahua talk dry, or has anyone got any other Chihuahua related facts?
Oh, I can add a celebrity to the list. Mickey Rourke.
Oh yeah,
Chihuahua owner.
Oh, I can kind of imagine that though, because that would just be, he'd almost do it for the comedic contrast of like bulky beefcake, leather made, crazy looking guy Mickey Rourke with a little tiny Chihuahua. that makes sense to me. It's like, yeah, that's the two extremes.
Yeah, because it's in Once Upon a Time in Mexico. His character has a Chihuahua, but I'm pretty sure it was just his Chihuahua.
I love the idea that wasn't part of the script or anything. He just turned up on set with the Chihuahua, and he's like, "Deal with it."
Yeah.
I'm actually not sure it was. I'm trying to remember the story, and I feel like he was like, "Can my Chihuahua be in it?"
Like, okay.
Robert Rodriguez went, "Okay." Sure, okay, I guess the Chihuahua. Sorry. I'm just trying to imagine the
not?
conversation of him being like, please may my Chihuahua be in this movie. Please.
Why would you not allow it? I mean, it improved Patrick Stewart's character in Dune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. Like, real question: is Mickey Rourke currently back? Because remember, he had a big comeback, and now he's not back anymore. He's sort of just not in anything. It's like he kind of was like, "Here I am," and then it's like, "Oh, it's Mickey Rourke's back, everybody!" And then it's like, "Oh, it's been like 10 years. Where's he gone?"
Yeah, The Wrestler was the last good thing, and then he was in Iron Man, and no one liked that.
I mean, I could give it to him if he was just like, I wanted to come back for like a big hurrah and be like, "Look, here, I made a great movie. See ya." Like, I would totally give him that. But it seemed as if like this was the beginning of like, hey, it's the renaissance of Mickey Rourke, and then just a
Rourke-essence? What could we call it?
It's not as good as the Keatonaissance from last season, the Michael Keaton Renaissance.
Oh, alas.
Although, here's another question, too. I asked this on Facebook the other day as a genuine question, and I guess it ties in to what's happening now. Because we have, or happening on screen, the Geraldo, bit of a weird name for a dog, although it's a Mexican name, I believe, so maybe, yeah, it ties in Mexican dog, it's Geraldo.
Yeah, but isn't it named after the American TV host?
Again, there's so many things we can talk about with this damn dog. I did posit the question: is anyone still calling their dog Rex or Fido these days? Because that seems like that was always the cliche name for a dog. But I don't think I think that became such a cliche that people stopped naming their dogs that. So it may well have died out. Like, if you had a dog called Fido now, it'd be like a weird hipstery kind of cool, like knowingly, ironically named dog or something.
Yeah, I haven't heard it. I'll be honest.
Have you said you were planning to buy a dog, Clarisse? Have you owned dogs previously?
Yes, but I already have chosen my future dog's name, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Oh.
So
Max Shreck.
Max Shreck would be good. Well, he's going to be called Maximus Decimus Meridius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife. That's the whole name, is the whole speech.
And you have to say it every time.
Yeah, when I'm really angry with the dog, I'll be yelling from across the field. Maximus Decimus Meridius,
As amazing.
Son, get back here.
As amazing and funny as it is, I'll warn you, it'll be a nightmare at the vet. Because it's bad enough with my cat, Drusilla. They're like, what? And yet, Drusilla. How do you spell that? I'm like, oh, for God's sake, for the 50th time. Right, D-R...
Yeah, but it's just Max for short. So the Max is the short version. The Max is the vet name.
They can go with that.
Maximus is the outside the vet name.
The vet could cope with Maximus, I think, but anymore,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Maximus Decimus?
I do hope that people ask you, though, like, how's Maximus the dog? And he's like, he's very vexing. And you can just go into full-on Joaquin Phoenix impersonations and describing how irritated you are with the dog.
Yeah, well, because I wanted to get a second dog that was called Commodus, and it would be like a beige pug called Maximus, and then a black pug called Commodus, and
Yes.
I guess they'd not like each other. I don't know. I didn't have a plan beyond that.
They probably won't.
That's the thing. Now you have to like orchestrate dog owning. It's like, make sure they don't like each other, though. Don't let these dogs get on. It's going to ruin the whole motif.
Yeah.
You go to the shelter and say, which two of your dogs hate each other the most?
I'm not going to make them fight, I promise. But they will wear tiny gladiator outfits with little tiny swords.
Oh,
It's cute, right?
absolutely adorable.
Anyhow, we're like what 20 seconds into this minute here, so I think
Well, there's not much else that actually happens, to be fair. I mean, I'm trying to think, like, Selina sort of... Do you think this is nervous like nervousness, or is it a survival strategy? Like the way she actually just starts telling him what she's seen in the files, like the power plant's a con, it's actually a capacitor, Shreck's an electricity thief.
Like, how dare they have the word capacitor in a scene with a man with that haircut and not expect people to be like 1.21 gigawatts? It's just like, it's right there. Look at it. You're kind of like, maybe he's like Doc.
Great Scott.
It's like, maybe he's like Doc Brown's long lost brother. Maybe it was always Doc Shreck. And then he's like, no, I changed it to Emma Brown.
Oh my God.
It's like, oh, you could totally do a Back to the Future crossover with Max Shreck and be like, yeah, totally. The thing I just want to, people probably notice by now in the show, I just want to put Max Shreck in everything. Like, any given situations, you can put him in Back to the Future. Maybe he creates like an evil DeLorean, and he's even worse than Biff Tannen and stuff like that. You know, I was like, oh it's my brother Marty. We've got to go back to stop my brother Max Shreck.
I want this to happen at least in comic book form. Come on.
Again, though, because I think Max Shreck seems to be the forgotten Batman character. That's kind of like, I don't think anyone's gonna care. Say enough about this guy. Again, though, I will say, like, masterful performances by both of them. Like, if you note, there's a period where Selina turns away because Max is sitting there, kind of like, like doing little friendly chuckles and stuff, and then she's kind of babbling, trying to explain herself. And then she turns away for a second, and his face looks into this. It morphs into the face of "I am going to kill you," like very, very, very quickly. And it's just all done just immediately as her face turns. And then when it turns back, he kind of does a little like expression, like, oh, we're still talking, like, you know, he's kind of hiding it and stuff. And yeah, just thought that was again too. Everyone in this film is pretty great. Everyone's in top form, I would say personally. So. I think this is...
oh, yeah. Every single person in the movie.
But I will note, did you guys notice something that could be potentially nod in the shots of Selina Kyle there sitting with the light the way it is and whatnot? Anyone notices... You notice the shadow on her face... Very, very similar to the Catwoman mask that Julie Newmar originated in the 1960s show.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
I'm just wondering if that's an intentional thing, or if that was like a happy accident in set, and they're like, "Oh my god, it looks like the mask. Let's go for this." Or if that was always intended, like, "Oh yeah, you could angle it in a certain way where you'll see, those glasses will inevitably, through shadow form, look a bit like the 1960s Catwoman glasses, or not even glasses. She's wearing kind of like just some, as useless a mask as you can get. But then again, all the Batman masks, except for Batman's actual mask, they're all pretty much uniformly useless because it's just like you can't quite see the eyes properly, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's all you need to recognize someone.
But yeah, that's like I have to say that's deliberate. That's gotta be like we knew what we were doing there moment. So Tim Burton's not like, yes, we painstakingly set up this shot for days on end to make sure that the glasses looked right.
I don't remember him mentioning it, but we'll check.
If Tim wants to write in.
Yeah, feel free, Tim. Come on the show. We'll try and fit you in somewhere.
We'll come and ask him if he knows who did the voice of Selina Kyle's mother, for one thing.
You have one question you can ask Tim Burton.
We'll go to a convention that he's at and be like...
I really genuinely want to do that. Now find a Q&A with Tim Burton and be like, you have one shot to be like, who was the voice of the lame boyfriend and Selina Kyle's mother in Batman Returns?
And he's like, what are you even talking about?
It's really hard to tell, but it was actually Ricardo Montalban doing that voice. And I was like, oh my God, what? No way.
I knew it. Well, Selina, at the last bit of this minute, though, she supports what I was saying a minute ago there. She looks even more concerned as she gives Shreck's plan some praise. Now, this is a definite survival plan now. Again, she doesn't think she's going to die, but she thinks she's in a lot of trouble. She's really in deep. So she's like, well, if I praise this plan, it might be okay. Like, oh, good work. This is fantastic. Yeah.
I think it's the stuttering delivery, too, is the realization of how nefarious it all seems as she's saying it. Because maybe in her head it's not like, oh yeah, so it's like it's instead of providing power, it'll be sucking power out of Gotham. And wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. And then like stockpiling it, which is very novel. Like it is a realization of like, oh, this is full on. It is supervillain stuff. This is Mr. Burns level kind of stuff, really.
Well, this is my last sort of note. Really, is he's sucking the power into the capacitor. What's his end game though? Is he going to sell the power back to the city after creating like an artificial shortage? Is he going to use it instead of money? Is he going to use it as power itself? Because he'll control everything. Because he doesn't seem like he needs money, really.
Also, it's illegal to do that, so would they not just arrest him? Someone would presumably.
Well, it's a very, very corrupt city.
But someone's taking all the power. Someone not gonna go, Batman, do you want to stop this guy taking all the power? That's your thing, Batman.
Yeah. It's a very strange plan. I don't fully comprehend it, I'll be honest.
To be fair, though, to quote Max Shreck himself, though, if there was documents proving that he did that, that's not an admission. But he would see to it that they were shredded, because Max Shreck has been getting away with stuff for a long time. So I'm assuming he... Although, again, how would you get away with this one, though? Because, like, here is this... I brought the mayor in and shown him a little model with little trees and stuff around it of the power plant. And it's going to be pretty easy to go, like, oh, this is sucking power. Maybe he has, like... He's planning... like bylaws and stuff he can get around of just like, no, this is all perfectly legal and stuff. Or he has dealings.
That's the thing, yeah.
Maybe that's why, again, when, spoilers related to the movie, he's attempting to get Oswald Cobblepot elected mayor. Maybe that's his thing. It's like, I'm going to make it legal. I will make it legal to...
you beat me to it.
I can imagine, though, again, with that hair, he's anticipating like a Mad Max future. And he is hoping to become...
He's ushering it in.
He's like going to become like Immortan Joe. Like that's... He's going to get the little mask and then he's just going to grow his hair out a little bit. And he's like, here I am. Like I told you it was going. And instead of like, getting... like distributing water, he's like, I've got electricity, guys.
Charge your iPhone.
Hey, that would be important in this future. When he pushes Selina out the window, he should just go, mediocre.
That's all the notes I've really got for this minute. Do you guys have anything about the minutes in particular you want to talk about?
I was very drawn by the Chihuahua and I kind of missed the rest of it. I was so fixated by that muscled.
Oh, feel free to do more Chihuahua facts.
To be honest, they're not that interesting. They're just small dogs with very bug eyes.
But so usually around this time of the week, Clarisse, we open the floor to the guests to talk about their memories of watching Batman Returns and about their experience with Batman as a character in general. Like, are you
if they have any?
Yeah, like are you a big fan, or does this film have any particular memories it brings up for you, or anything like that?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a Batman fan, and I don't know if that's treacherous to say on here.
Oh my! We just wasted 3 hours recording this whole damn week.
Okay, but this is the contradiction in my. I don't like Batman as a character, but Batman Returns has always been my favorite superhero film because partially because it's Tim Burton, stuck through it thick and thin. Alice in Wonderland, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm still holding on.
You're still like looking at those Dumbo trailers, but like maybe you never know, but just maybe.
We'll see.
Hoping.
Seems I don't have hopes myself for that. I'm just like, no, looks really schmaltzy. Don't like it. Don't like the look of it. But I'm like, I'll go to see Michael Keaton's wig because that enticed me in the trailer. But beyond that, I'm like, nah. Plus, I just don't like Dumbo the story. It just like wasn't a favorite of mine as a kid. So,
it's too depressing to me. I like depressing. I like Grave of the Fireflies. God damn it.
Dumbo's like somehow more depressing than Grave. I don't know how that's possible, but when she cradles the baby and sings, was it baby mine? It's the most exciting thing I've ever seen. Period.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh, how are they going to top that in the new one? Jeez.
So, but do you remember when you saw this movie? I'm not too sure, because you're around the same age as us, though. So I guess you would have been like,
Yeah, I definitely didn't see it at the cinema. I think the first time I saw it was when it was part of my Tim Burton phase. So I think, to be honest, I don't have any particular distinct memories of seeing it for the first time because I think it was so lumped in with that period of my life in which all I did was watch Tim Burton movies. And I was just I'm still very morbid. I'm still like a little Wednesday Addams, but I was very much a little Wednesday Addams back then. So it was just part of my fueling for that period of my life. And yeah, I just remember being so immediately drawn to Catwoman because there was just something very cool about her. And I just like a good villain because I think my other favorite villain I've seen in a superhero movie for a long time is Hela from Thor Ragnarok, which is a similar like own your craziness sort of villain. And I'm into it.
They're always more interesting characters. They're not as simple. There's more going on with them, more nuanced. Like Catwoman, in this movie, you're pretty much on her side.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
she just goes a bit too far.
This movie does capture, like, if not in terms of what Catwoman is in the comics as a plot point, they do capture that spirit of, because Catwoman is always forever like she's a criminal, but she's not a total criminal. It's like you can see the allure of Batman with seeing her and stuff and be like, well, she's not entirely, irredeemable, and she's, everything in this movie is just like, well, this is like it's a quite literal sort of like hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned kind of thing. It's just like, yeah, they pushed her too far, and then she's just kind of going to just snaps and stuff, and you can totally understand why she did that, and she's much more sympathetic than the Penguin, because even though he has a lot of tragedy in his life, he is still a relentlessly sleazy, unlikable kind of person. So it's you are kind of, and again, just because of the relationship between her and Batman, you're much more emotionally connected and whatnot to it. But would you say though that Clarisse, as like, if you've watched Catwoman throughout the years as a fan, would you have would this be your favorite iteration, or were you the one person out there going, Anne Hathaway is the best damn Catwoman there ever was?
Absolutely. No, I'm sorry. I love Anne Hathaway, but no. No, I just hate that one line she has in the movie where it's like, Daddy told me never to get into cars with strange boys. I'm like, why would Catwoman say that? Stop. Do only cat puns. I don't want to hear any other jokes out of Catwoman's mouth. So yeah, no, this is my favorite. Yeah. Yeah. It's like this and Eartha Kitt are my favorite. I mean, Eartha Kitt was incredible. So, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. Should we depart and head into the dark night?
I'm ready to do it. I think we've if anyone has any more thoughts on Geraldo the Chihuahua, only send them to Clarisse, because just by all means spam her Twitter and
No, okay, do it. No, I want that. But if you tweet at me, you have to attach a picture of Chihuahua. Otherwise, I will not respond.
Oh, do it, everyone. Do it.
That means now that when we post these episodes, we have to put up a picture of the Chihuahua in the show notes as well.
If they do want to do it, though, how can they? Where can they get in touch with you on Twitter?
Yeah, so please send your Chihuahua pictures to Clarisse Loughrey or Clarisse Lou on Twitter, which is with 2 S's, CLARISSE. Sorry, I feel weird because I feel like I have to spell it, but also it's weird to spell out your own Twitter handle. But or you can go on That Done Movie Show on YouTube, and you can find me that way.
And send videos of chihuahuas.
Oh, that's even better. Just the angry chihuahuas, furious chihuahuas, please.
Well, if you'd like to send us any, angry penguin videos or anything like, or cats, then feel free. You can get in touch with us at the Bat-Minute Listeners Cave on Facebook, or on Twitter at Bat-Minute as well. We're everywhere on the internet. Just put in a Bat-Minute. We'll pop up. I think we're the only one. We should be. There's people doing the other movies, but that's different. That's different. Very good shows, though. Go listen to them. And listen to us again, because we'll be back on Monday. Sadly, Clarisse will not be with us, but we'll have a new guest, new minutes, and new exciting things going on. See you on Monday.
Next time, Scatty Cat Selina's investigation leads to fulmination and intimidation, but will an old axiom signal and an axing and portend an end for Shreck's fearful but defiant flunky? Find out Monday. Same bat pod, different bat minute.